Hey, Nick Robinson.
Hey, what's up?
Does this look familiar to you?
It does, although it looks a little purtier than memory.
Better. Yeah. This is Ratchet and Clank for the PlayStation 4. They're doing it again. They're bringing back.
Is that that's the subtitle? Ratchet and Clank: they're doing it again.
Basically. No, they actually do have a very clever little ad campaign, which is play the game based on the movie, based on the game, which is
okay. So
good.
This is Ratchet and Clank, the game, the movie, or no, the movie, the game, right?
Yeah. Essentially, so this is they're being very careful to say it's not a remake or it's not just a remake of the first Ratchet and Clank. But the movie is based on the first game. This has some levels and storylines and enemies in common with the first game, but it is not. It also has a lot of new stuff, and it's not just like as you can see, this is not just an HD upgrade.
No, definitely not.
It is completely redone.
This is very pretty.
It is so pretty.
So you've got a chance to play this, right?
Yes. This footage is actually of me playing.
Well, first of all, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Second of all, how clear of a sense do you have of where they draw that line between, like, remake and reboot? Like, are these levels from the original Ratchet and Clank, or...?
This is a level called, the area is called Metropolis. It's a city that's visited in a bunch of different Ratchet and Clank games. And for people who've played the original Ratchet and Clank, you might, like, actually fully recognize this. We're about to go on this train ride, through like this crazy future city, and this whole scenario was 100% in the first Ratchet and Clank.
Okay.
However, it looked totally different, and it controlled way worse.
Gotcha.
And that's one of the big things. They did say there are going to be new planets. They're adding a ton of new weapons as well. Just generally a lot of new stuff to the game. So it's using essentially like the same. It's following the same basic outline of the first Ratchet and Clank, but it's adding a lot to it.
Look at those physics.
That's pretty cool, right?
So I guess my main question, because this is sort of a cross-promotional movie thing, do you have a sense of how involved Insomniac is in, like, the movie? Because I feel like they always... The games were always pretty charming and, like, pretty well written, and...
Well, their goal from the start, they've always said this about Ratchet and Clank, is, like, they want it to feel like you're playing an animated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this wouldn't be a Phil video without falling to my death.
Oh, there we go. Classic Phil.
They want it to feel like you're playing an animated movie. I think they've gotten closer than ever with this, just with how incredible it looks.
I'm really struck by how gorgeous this is.
But yeah, I asked them very specifically, what's up with the movie? How involved are you?
Mm-hmm.
And they said they've been very involved from the start. They've been involved, like, sharing assets. The writer of Ratchet and Clank, TJ Fixman, who did the script for this Ratchet and Clank as well, this game. He wrote the first draft of the movie script, which Sony then, iterated on. And they've watched scenes, they've provided feedback. So it sounds like they're very heavily involved, and also like they've specifically moved this game back to it's coming out spring 2016, which is when the movie comes out.
Okay.
And it seems like part of the reasoning for that is to make sure the two are coming out at around the same time.
This train sequence is pretty phenomenal. I'm getting real Uncharted 2 vibes here from the way it's
awesome. It's really good, and the big thing for people who liked the original Ratchet and Clank is, like, as great as the series is, it's hard to go back to that first one. You can tell it's a first draft, and there were things you couldn't do in the first one that became series standards, such as aiming and strafing.
Sure, yeah.
Like, you could not do that in the original, and those are so key. So having that, sort of storyline and some of those worlds updated in modern ways is actually really cool.
Yeah.
So this is one of my favorite new guns that they put in. It's the Pixelizer.
Oh, man.
It
the Adam Sandler gun.
Pixels,
I got it.
And then if they die, they just stay that way. So now he's just a block of pixels for good.
Is it 2D eternity. Or is it... Okay, there we go. It's like a sort of semi-3D model there.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I think we're going to hop over to a boss fight now to show that off as well. But yeah, they said this is going to follow the same storyline as the film, but it's obviously going to add a lot because they're going for around 8 to 10 hour. I think they said actually 10 to 12 hours, something like that, but way longer than a movie, essentially. So this is one of the early bosses in the game.
It really is kind of blurring the line, I think, between like what you'd expect from visuals in a sort of Pixar-esque animated thing and what a video game can accomplish. This is probably the closest anyone's gotten that I've seen so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's weird because I probably said almost the exact same thing when Ratchet and Clank Future first came out on PS3. I was like, oh, this is amazing. It's basically a Pixar movie. But this is even more basically a Pixar movie. So one of the things we're going to show off here, they're bringing some fan favorite weapons, including the Groovatron.
The dancing gun, that one?
Yeah, so this will work on everything, including bosses.
Oh, man.
Every enemy in the game is going to have their own unique dance. So throughout this boss fight, he'll summon smaller enemies, and we're going to show off the dances for each of them.
Excellent.
But you can see this mix here. We've got fusion bombs, which I think were in the original. We've got the pixelator, which is brand new. We've got Mr. Zircon, which is...
So it's pixelating him, but he's also still animating in real time. So it's like post-processing, adding this pixelated filter to his existing animations. That's really... I've never seen anything that looks quite like that. That's pretty wild.
It's very cool. I'm genuinely very impressed with this so far. Obviously, this is all we've seen is one level and one boss fight. But it seems like it's doing the stuff you want Ratchet and Clank to do. It seems like there's going to be a lot of new weapons. Like I said, they're adding there are weapons that are being introduced in the movie that they're putting into this as well.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's a very sexy. Oh, is that like a? It's kind of like the Warner Brothers frog. I get the joke. He's doing the little.
This is an M-rated video. We're gonna have to.
Yeah, pixelate that, please.
Adults only.
Hit him with that pixelator.
But yeah, I'm getting pretty stoked for this. They're going to show one more level than we saw at E3.
Okay.
And this just looks so good.
It's really pretty, and I really do trust Insomniac with weapon design. I think that's the one thing that they have not faltered in over the past decade or two. So I don't know. Yeah. I'm pretty excited to see what they can do with a PS4.
Yeah, and it's worth mentioning that this is in creation from the North Carolina studio, which hasn't produced the best stuff at Insomniac. But from everything I've seen, this might be the best thing they have done thus far.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting. This feels like an Insomniac game, which is pretty high praise.
Yes, absolutely. So watch out for E3. We'll hopefully have more from Ratchet and Clank, but otherwise the game is coming out in spring 2016. I wrote a full preview on Polygon.com that I will link to below the video.